Millionaire in space, flying on a go-kart with the silver lake. Everybody Everybody calls me never wrong, cause I'm a freestyle freak with the funky song. Do you hear me talking? Do you hear me singing on the microphone? I want you to sing along. You go do it, you go do it, you go do it, do it, do it. I got two great partners standing by me that's guaranteed to jam to the beat. One is Blondy, and she's right on time. She calls herself Miss Superfine. I said Cheryl The Pearl is the one with the eye. She's guaranteed to hypnotize. Said Angie B, hey, that's me. I can rock so dangerously. You go do it, you go do it, you go do it, do it, do it. At 5:45, she got in a fix, and you called on Angie B. And you look surprised as I arrived to see me dressed to a T. You go do it, you go do it, you go do it, do it, do it.
All right, it's your boy, comedian Edwin Douglas, and you're on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. That's right, we're on iheart-radio, Spotify, and Spreaker. And of course, I am streaming under the RobinLynnes production. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special episode. When I say special, exclusive interview with the one and only Cheryl The Pearl from Sequence under the most magnificent SugarHill gang record. But before we bring her in, let me introduce you guys to my radio family. First, Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben. All right. Also, let's bring in my producer and the one that's making everything magnificent and taking this show to a whole nother level. But not only I'm going to call her name, today is her birthday. Yes, RobinLynnes May Ben. Happy birthday.
You're the hee-hoo. Ha, ha, ha. Cha, cha, cha.
Uncle Ben,
Thank you.
Happy birthday, RobinLynnes. Uncle Ben. You should be getting something in the mail. Some pink champagne and boom from me.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Ben. Thank you.
All right. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've been waiting for. Every now and then I would do an exclusive interview. And this interview is very special history in music. Not just music, but we're going to give her a warm, red carpet welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Columbia, South Carolina, she's won the mother queen of rap from the group of Sequence. You had Blondy. You had Cheryl The Pearl. You had Angie B, as known as today, Angie Stone. But ladies and gentlemen, we have her on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. The song that just heard played, Funk You Up. She is on the show. Welcome, Cheryl The Pearl. How you doing, Cheryl?
I'm doing fine, Edwin, and I would like to say happy birthday also to Robin, and thank you guys.
All right.
Thank you, Michelle.
When you and I first started communicating, and I told you when I hear anybody that's from South Carolina, I have to support it or support them or support that person, because I feel like we're family. Anything that come out from I-20, I-26, we're family, no matter what. Ain't that many highways. Ain't that many highways in South Carolina. Now, the mother direction, they took a road, dirt road. We ain't counting that, okay? my first, the first thing I want to ask you is, at the age of 7, if you can remember, what did you tell yourself that you're going to be doing at the age of 7? What was your dream?
Six and 7 was really rough for me because my father got killed November the 18th, the day before my birthday. So during that time, I was still trying to maybe figure out what death was all about, why he wasn't coming home, and all of that type of stuff was going through my brain. But what I did do was started to get more in tune with music. So my mother would have her play her music, and I could listen to the music, and the music would soothe me. If I was in her car, I was listening to music until I could practically sing every song that came on the radio. And she noticed that. She was like, okay, she knows every song that comes on this radio. So, back then people would come to your house. Your moms would have gatherings and stuff. And my mom would say, come in here, Cheryl, and sing this song or sing that song. And I would just start singing. They would tell me that I would just start singing, and she knew something was a little bit different. As I got older, she asked me and my sisters what did we want to be when we grew up. And both of my sisters said they wanted to be teachers, and I told her I was going to be a star like Diana Ross and the Supremes. I was going to be that type of person. And she said, look at this girl. At first, her and my Aunt Joanne, they were laughing like she said she's going to be a star. And I didn't like it that they were laughing, because I was very serious about I'm going to be a star. I'm going to be doing what Diana Ross and the Supremes are doing. I saw them on Ed Sullivan's show, and I just admired that. I really looked up to that group. And then the other person I looked up to was my grandmother, singing in church. Miss Roberta, she played the guitar, and she would stand up and sing in church. Miss Thelma, Miss Azalea, all of the ladies on the choir would have solos, and I just loved every song that they sing. I learned every song that they sing, and I watched them like hawks as a little girl. And so singing just became that I wanted to do the most, yeah. But watching Diana Ross and the Supremes on the television show really did it for me, Wow. Yeah.
Now, I know how families like to get together and they know they have someone very gifted or talented in the family. Did your family members ever try to embarrass you and have you to perform unexpected? Do you have to go through that?
Well, they would just say sing, and I would just start singing. It didn't embarrass me in any kind of way. I was like to be out there showing people that I could do that. You know what I'm saying? So I was never afraid to sing when they asked me to, even though I'm humble and very shy at times. During that time, I really wasn't. I just would just start singing. And I would go, like if my grandmother would send me to the store in the neighborhood, I would walk around there, and we had like what they call a juke joint, where the nightclubs, and Mr. George Wesley and his daughters, they would be in there cleaning the club up for the night, and I would go sit on the steps and just listen to the music, because they would have the jukebox playing. And once I heard music, I would run straight to the music, almost forget what I'm supposed to be doing, going to the store for my grandmother and coming back. But I would sit there and listen to that music. And then when I do get back home, Mama say, what took you so long? And I would be scared then because I'm like, I was listening to the music. And she said, what music, Cheryl? I said, I was sitting on Mr. George steps, and I was listening to the music come out the nightclub. And they would come and give me pickles and things out there. His daughters would come and give, Cheryl, what are you doing sitting down? And I'm like, I'm listening to the music. So everybody kind of knew that when I was by myself, that was my thing. Me, my dog, and the music. I love music. They knew it at a young age that, kind of got a feeling that this girl is going to go off into this music thing, Yeah.
So even at a young age, at probably 3 or 5, you was already loving the music. Did you have any other hobbies?
Well, yes. As I grew up, coming through middle school, in high school, I played volleyball, I played basketball, I played softball. I was a cheerleader. I was a homecoming queen at C.A. Johnson High School. I was also in the Air Force, the ROTC in school. I was the ROTC queen. So I participated in track and all of that. And we did talent shows. Angie and Blondy both would go out and they would do dancing. I would do talent shows where I was singing. At first it was me and my sister. And Lydia and Valerie, they were sisters. We teamed up and did talent shows.
How old were you when you started doing the talent shows with your sister?
I was in the 8th grade, I think.
Okay.
Right. We started doing talent shows, and then I started participating in the pageants, the beauty pageants that they would have in South Carolina. Angie and I was in that. But once I did that with my sister decided she didn't want to do it no more. Valerie and them didn't want to do it. So I moved on to Karen Lucas and Sharon Moultrie, and we started doing it. And the mom said they couldn't stay after school. We was doing it at Karen's grandfather's store. And they said, well, Penny moms don't want her to stay school to be in the group, and so that dissolved. I started doing summer jobs from the school programs, and I was sent to this job site, and the young lady there, Desiree, and her sister Desiree told me that she knew Bootsy Collins and that she was going to that concert. She was a little bit older than I was. So I'm like, I'm crazy about Bootsy Collins. So I sit there and I wrote that hook, Funk You Up, for Bootsy Collins because she said she could go. And so I gave her what I had wrote. I said, could you just please give this to him, and then he'll figure it out, or he could. I put my number there so he could call me, and I could tell him how to sing it. And she said, okay, but something happened. She got sick. She didn't get to go to the concert. And it was the Chamber of Commerce where I was working at the time. And so me, her sister started our little group. And so we started doing, after work we would go and we would start writing. Her sister was an excellent songwriter. And we were practicing in the hook, Funk You Up. So later on, Angie asked me, could she go with me? And I said, of course you can. So she, Angie was more my sister's friend. And like a little sister to me, but she would always want to come with me. So I said, come on, we're going to go. She said, I can sing too, sure. I said, okay, come on. And so it was me, Angie, and the two sisters, Desiree and her sister. And we practiced, but that wasn't working out either because we were looking like, I guess, the odd couple. They were high yellow, beautiful girls, long, beautiful hair. We were hood girls, and we looked like hood girls, so it just looked like the odd couple. And so Michael from Good Times came to South Carolina. Michael's grandmother lived in South Carolina. And he was still a little boy, still young. I think we were, like I said, in the 8th or 9th grade, around that time. And so Michael came to South Carolina, and he was looking for background singers. So we got to audition for him. And as we're auditioning for him, he's looking at me and Angie, and he pulls us aside after we finished singing and everything. Then he pulled us aside. He said, I really don't want the whole group, but I would take you two. And him, and he was like, well, we come as a group. We can't, separate. He said, because y'all look like the odd couple. Y'all don't look like y'all fit as a group. But you and Angie, you look like y'all could be together, and I could take the two of y'all with me. But, again, we were young, and we didn't want to separate from what we were doing with the other two females, and we passed on it. And to make a long story short, as we got with the group The Sequence, we ran into Michael again out in California. We broke it off with the girls shortly after that because they had one of their boyfriends managing them, and they kept arguing. So me and Angie was like, okay, we're not going to do that either. So me and Angie became a group with two individuals doing the singing thing, and we were going to call ourselves Thunder and Lightning.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we were going to keep going. We wasn't going to stop, and we just was, the community people. I think it was the Barnetts. They had a band down here. They were doing their thing, and then we were going to rehearsals with them, and we was like, well, they too old. They're older than us, and maybe we should try something else. So we just kept fiddling around with it. And we would go to my grandmother's house, and we practiced in my room every day, me and Angie. And I would hang with Angie during the daytime. I would hang with Blondy at night because Blondy was older, and we did different things. So I asked Gwen, I said, Gwen, you want to be with me and Angie in the singing group? And she said, yes, of course. She said, of course. I said,
wow.
And then we're going to come, and we're going to go back to the house, and we're going to practice. And we would go to the house, and we would practice every day. Of course, my grandfather was like, will y'all shut up all that noise back there in that room? And my grandmother said, Plants, leave them kids alone. You don't know what's going to happen with them. Let them do what they do. They out there making all that noise, this, that, and the other. And, if you catch him on a good day, he wouldn't bother us. But if it was one of them days that he wasn't feeling it, we had to hear it. I'm like, Daddy, we got to practice in order to. He said, do you have to practice? Can you go outside? He was laughing. Mom would always stop him from bothering us, and we would go back and rehearse. But when we did discover, we were in California. Michael was there, and he came to our concert, and he said, I told you to. I told y'all were going to be stars. I told you. And he did. He said, y'all two are going to be stars. He said that in that room when we did that, when we rehearsed for him, when we did the audition for him. He said that, y'all two. He picked me and Angie out. So,
wow.
For the 20th, which was Gwen's birthday, Gwen turned 20 that year, we went to the SugarHill Gang concert. And when we went to that concert, Miss Sylvia Robinson was there, in which everybody know Sylvia did Pillow Talk, Love is Strange. She has a hit list of hits. She wrote songs for the Moments and different groups that were in her company. She had maybe 2 or 3 different companies throughout the years. But she happened to be there with the SugarHill Gang. And that night, it was a big mess. Blondy's mother didn't want her to go out. She didn't want her to leave the house. And they got into a little tit-tat, and she was like, Mom, I'm 20 years old. I got to go because we got to meet somebody there that's going to get us backstage so that we can audition, see if we can get somebody to listen to us. But her mom just wasn't hearing it. She was angry. Like, I'm 20 years old. I'm going to go whether you like it or not. Miss Gina just, she made a big mess out of it. I put Gwen's clothes out, and I was like, I'm sitting there crying. I'm like, we're not doing anything. So we're just trying to go and trying to hurt nothing. She's just like that, sure. So Gwen picked his clothes, and we left to the concert, picked up Angie. We went to the auditorium, and still upset from what had happened, earlier at her mom's house. But we went anyway. Got there, the guy that was supposed to be leaving us backstage passes did not leave the passes. We sitting there, we going back and forth. You got to look, telling the people that was at the door to let us in, you got to look. We got to have backstage passes. He said he was going to leave them, this, that, and the other. So they look and they can't find nothing that would let us in this concert. All of a sudden, Harold Miles, God bless his soul, Harold was walking that way with a SugarHill jacket on, and he was an older man, nice blue eyes, gray-haired man. He walked over and he said, "What's going on?" And we were like, we were supposed to have backstage passes, and they won't let us in, but we got to get in because we could beat those guys rapping. We were just really selling ourselves. And he was looking at Angie, even though he was an older man, he was just looking at Angie. He said, "Little chocolate thing, y'all come on in." Angie said, "I can't come in unless my girls come in." He said, "I'll let all three of them in." So they let us in, and he took us backstage. We met back there. We saw Nate Edwin at that time. Nate was telling us to send him a cassette. And we was like, we're not sending nobody nothing. Everybody come through here tell us to send them something, and then they don't get back in touch with us. Y'all got to hear us. Somebody got to listen to us today. And when we said we could beat them boys rapping, that's when Miss Robinson stood up. And she said, "I'll listen to y'all." And we said, "You will?" She said, "Yes." We didn't say, "Who are you?" or none of that. We didn't go into none of that. She said, "Let me hear what y'all got." So we started. She said, "What do y'all do?" We said, "We sing and we rap." And she said, okay. She sat down in a chair. She had on a pair of blue jeans, a SugarHill T-shirt, and one of the visor caps over her head. No makeup, nothing that would say, "I'm Sylvia Robinson." Mm-hmm. So we're back there, and she's sitting there. And so she said, okay, let me hear what y'all got. And we started singing, and we go from one song to the next. And she liked them, but they weren't quite what she wanted because we were saying we rap. So we were getting ready to leave out, and I said, well, we didn't do Funk You Up. And I said, can we do Funk You Up for you? And she said, sure, come back in. So we started, we're going to funk you right on up. We're going to funk you right on up. Say, wow. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Sit back down. She said, stop. She said, I'll rap. And we said, yes, ma'am, we can rap too. We could beat them boys rapping. She said, okay. And y'all going to do the hook again. And Blondy, I want you to come in first. And so we started saying, we're going to funk you right on up. We're going to funk you right on up. Going to funk you right on up. We're going to funk you right on up. Say, get up, 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 get up. Sit back down, you right on up. We gonna funk you right on up. She said, Blondy, you coming funk you Right on up, we gon' funk you. Right on up. Then Gwen said, my name is Gwen, but they call me Blondy. I'm better known as the one and only. I'm 5'2", built so fine. 36, 26, 36 down. She say, stop. She said, Cheryl, now you come in. I said, they call me Cheryl, and I'll tell you what, because I got such sexy bedroom eyes. When I pop them out and you look surprised, I got you, and you're hypnotized. She said, stop. She said, come in, Angie. And Angie went, Angie B is what to say. I got chocolate hips and the Milky Way. And I feel like a millionaire in space, flying on a cockeye with a silver lace. Everybody calls me never wrong because I'm a freestyle freak with the funky song. She said, stop. And she told this guy that was in there, she said, go get the band and tell the band I said, come here. And so Doug Webley, and Keith LeBlanc, the drummer, the bass, and guitar player came in. So she said, y'all start singing again, and I want the band to come in. And so we started singing, and I started basically humming the bass line and just putting them right where they needed to be at. And then they just boom, 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 boom. I do things with my mouth, so they started to really following what we was doing, and then we was like, don't you give up. She was like, oh, y'all ain't came with that one. When y'all started, we was like, don't you give up. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I don't give up. I keep going. They was just playing, keep going. I keep going. We go funk you right on the. She was just like up, standing up with us and dancing. We go funk you right on up. We go funk you up. I said, get up, 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 get up. Sit back down. Everybody started running in the room where we were because they could hear the music, and we were jamming backstage. And we started rapping. Come on, Blondy, do your thing. And Gwen came on in, and I came back in, and then Angie came back in, and we created that song that night at the Township Auditorium on Taylor Street, October the 20th, 1979.
Now, hold that thought, Cheryl. We're at the bottom of the hour. Hold that thought. When we come back, we'll take a quick music break. But hold that thought, because you said a number, October the 20th. Hold that thought. We'll take a quick music break. Okay. And God, daughter's testimony. We'll be right back, guys. This is great. We're going to take a quick music break and more of exclusive Cheryl The Pearl. Yeah, don't you guys go away too far. You heard me?
Feels so good. Feels so good. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. We were on our way to the movies. We took the wrong turn and ended up doing it. He was claiming it. He was spanking it. He was freaking it. He was banging it. We were on our way to the movies. We took the wrong turn. He knew what he was doing. I was loving it. I was kissing it. I was wanting it. I was needing it. My baby called and said, sure, what's up? Wanna go to the movies, have a drink at the club? It's a nice night out, I'm coming to pick you up. I wanna look my best and that you can trust. This thing between us is burning hot. He got the kind of fire that just won't stop. So we ended up somewhere we didn't belong. Things got real heated and you know it was on. We were on our way to the movies. We took the wrong turn and ended up doing it. He was claiming it. He was spanking it. He was freaking it. He was banging it. We were on our way to the movies. We took the wrong turn. He knew what he was doing. I was loving it. I was kissing it. I was wanting it. I I was needing this. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you.
Baby, call my name, but when you do that thing, I like the way you freak, driving me insane. Baby, back it up and let me take a closer look. Damn, your shit is really off the hook. Blondy, in case you don't know, as fine as I wanna be and still can flow. So let it go, nice and slow, up and down, round and round, beat it up. I don't care as long as you take me there.
Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. We were on our way to the movies. We took the wrong turn and ended up doing it. He was claiming it. He was making it. He was freaking it. He was banging it. We were on our way to the movies. We took the wrong turn. He knew what he was doing. I was loving it. I was kissing it. I was holding it. I was needing it. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. Love the way you love me. Love the way you need me, baby. You don't know how much I love you, baby. Always thinking of you. Do it in the morning, do it in the evening, do it in the middle of the night. As long as you're hitting it, banging it, beating it, freaking and taking it right. Do it in the morning, do it in the evening, do it in the middle of the night. As long as you're hitting it, banging it, beating it, freaking and taking it right.
We're back on You Heard Me First Radio Talk Show. Before we went on the break, wow, the Holy Spirit hit me, but I'm going to wait until we get off this air about October 20th.
Don't push the Spirit.
I can't. It's not. This is the Holy Spirit. I can't. I'm wiping my eyes. No, this is October 20th, 1979. October 20th, 2010. But when we get off the air, I'm going to speak with both of you guys. Wow. Before we went on the break, for those who just now tuning in, this is comedian Edwin Douglas. You heard my first radio talk show. We're on iheart-radio, Spotify, Spreaker, and this is a special episode, Untold story, and a beautiful moment with the legendary Cheryl The Pearl from Sequin. Before we went on the break, Cheryl, you said 1979, October 20th. Sylvia Robinson, go ahead. Go right ahead.
So we were backstage and we were jamming with the band. Everybody was having a ball, and it was time for the SugarHill gang to go on stage. So the band had to leave. Everybody came out the room, and they were going on the stage. And Miss Robinson, we was like, can we go out there with them? Can we jam with them? And she said, sure, because I think she just wanted to see if we were going to be scared of the crowd or not. And so they went on stage, and we went out there with them. And they started doing their thing, and we just back there, you know, just doing a little side-to-side, two-step type thing like we was a part of the band and everything. And, of course, the SugarHill gang never said anything about that because I guess Miss Robinson was seeing whether we were afraid of the stage or not. And so when they started doing Rappers Delight, of course, we were having a ball out there with them, and all of our high school friends could see us on stage with them, and so that was talk of the town the next day. It's like, yo, Sheldon was on stage. Y'all saw him on stage with the SugarHill gang. But that night, after we got off the stage with the SugarHill gang, Miss Robinson said, I'm going to make you girls stars. She said, I'm going to call for y'all next week. She said, who number should I call? So we gave her Blondy's number because she was, steady at her job at a certain time. And so we was like, you could call Blondy. And Gwen said, yeah. So Gwen gave her phone number. She said, we was like, please don't do us like everybody else. They said they're going to call us. She said, no, I'm going to make you girls stars. So all I think that she could see was she had 3 guy rappers, and now she got 3 girl rappers with an original rap record. The Funk You Up is, I think, maybe the first original rap record by 3 females, and we're the 3 females from the South. We got there. She called us that Wednesday, and she told us that our tickets would be at the airport, that we just had to show ID and show up in time to get on the plane. So now we got to, we done went home. We done told our parents that, this lady said she's going to make us stars, this, that, and the other. We all excited. But our parents was looking at us like, what are you talking about? You're not going nowhere. In so many ways. It's like, no, this is real. I was in college. I'm telling my grandma, no, Ma, listen, she's going to make us stars. This is what I want to do. She said, but you in college. Where you going? I said, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm not going back. Angie was 17, and we had to convince her moms to let her go. Blondy had already stepped away from her mom and asked my grandma, can Blondy stay here till her and her mom figure out what they're going to do? She said yes. Gina knows. I let Gina know Gwen is over here. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm going whether y'all go.
Okay.
You're not leaving me. I'm going too. But now I could convince my grandmother, but then I got to convince my mother, who was a little bit harder, but I know if I get my grandmother and my grandfather to agree, then my mother would slowly but surely. My mother was like, I got to think about that. I said, but the ticket's going to be at the airport Friday. We got to be on that plane. And she said, calm down, first of all. She was like, she going to mess up my opportunity, Ma. My grandma said, just calm down. We're going to talk about it and let you know. So, man, I was nervous. I was just nervous all that whole week. I was just nervous. I'm like, they're not going to let me go. They're not going to let me go. But my grandfather said, he gave me $100. He said, if it doesn't work out, it's with you, and you get on the bus and come back home. It's enough for all 3 of you. I think back then the tickets was $19 for
yes.
Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, megabus. Catch the megabus fare.
Get on the bus home. But what my grandmother and my mother, all of us that sat and talked about it, and my grandmother was like, well, your aunt and uncles are right there in East Orange, New Jersey. If it doesn't work out, you call them and tell them to come get you.
Okay.
We're going to let you do this, Cheryl, but if it doesn't work out, you get back home. If it does work out and you're making more money than we're making down here, you just make sure you send something home.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Your mama. And she said, because you see how hard clams work and you see how we are maintaining. But if you're doing better, you always make sure you look out for home. I said, yes, ma'am. And so we had to talk Angie, mother and father, into letting her go. And, of course, Angie being 17, she would have to drop out of school. We was like, Ms. Robinson will find a way for her to get her education. We talk it up like we know this woman, man. We'll make sure Angie is all right. She be with me all the time. I'm not going to let anything happen to her. But Angie also had an aunt family that lived in Brooklyn. So if things got crazy, we could either go to Angie family in Brooklyn or we can go to my family in East Orange, and they will get us back home. But nothing went wrong. They agreed. They let us all go. Told us to look out for each other, and They all drove to the airport that day when we were getting on the plane. Everybody was out there waving and happy for us. And we packed clothes like we weren't never coming back. You know, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you tell us what was one of the trials and tribulations that you went through that made you become the woman that you are today?
Okay, there's trials and tribulations. After SugarHill, I had to figure out what I was going to do. And little Rodney C. from the Funky Four, his mother asked me what did I like doing. And I told her that I like taking care of people. As I used to take care of my great-grandmother, who both legs was amputated. Me and my sisters would take turns going to take care of her. She said, so you want to get in that field? And I said, I think that would be good for me. I asked God, what do you want me to do? And he said, work for the sick and the shed-in. So I figure with what Hazel had offered me, which was to take me to her agency. The agency would train me to how to take care of people. And I would get a certificate, and then they would start me to working. So I followed Hazel. Hazel took me to the training programs. I think it was 2 weeks for the training program. Got me signed up, got me everything eligible. I got the certificate. Then I could go back to the agency. The agency started sending me out. And this is in New York City. I lived in Harlem during that time. They sent me out to start taking care of seniors. It's called home health care. And I started doing what I didn't know was what they called hard cases during that time, and those were cases that people could go in, but they didn't stay in there long because those seniors, some of them could be very mean, and they wouldn't. People would not stay with them. But then they sent me into those people, and everything worked out just fine because I listened to what they were asking me to do. I just didn't go in their houses and try to take over their houses. I would go in and say, Miss Betty, what is it you need? They would tell me what they needed and say, I don't get up till 9:30, so you sit right there in that chair until I wake up. And so her grandson would have my Bible. I would sit there and I would read. Then when Miss Betty get up, she would tell me what her needs were, and I would do it. So Miss Betty couldn't keep people in there for a day or two. They would say, I'm not going back. And so I was with Miss Betty for like 3 or 4 months, and they would call me to the office and say, Cheryl, I say, we need you to come around to the office. I said, oh, God, I wonder what this is all about. And so I go there. I said, Miss Betty, I got to go to the office, but I'll be right back, which it was in walking distance. And so I got around there, and they asked me, well, what are you doing? I said, what do you mean? They said, we can't keep people in there with Miss Betty for a day. And how you've been in there for 3 months, and we're trying to figure out what is it that you're doing that is different from these other people we're sitting in there. Yeah. And I'm like, I just to Miss Betty. I said, whatever she asked me to do, that's what I do. I said, when her grandson let me in, I sit down quietly. I read my Bible until she wakes up. And then she was a very independent woman, so she wanted to do a lot of things on her own, and maybe they were trying to do it for her, but she wanted to still have her independence. She would take her mop, and she'd be in her wheelchair, and she would I would bring the mop up, and she would mop her floors. And she said she worked for white people in her times where she had to get on her knees, so her knees were really bad. She said, but they used to have to come back behind us with gloves on to make sure that there was no dust in their houses. So I clean my own house because I know how I like to clean, you know. So I I just listened to them. One house I went in, the lady had cat food. I think I was at Robin. She had nothing but cat food up in her cabinets, and she was asking me to bring her the crackers and the crackers and stuff that she had mixed together, which was cat food. And I'm like, I don't see a cat in here, but all I see is canned cat food. And she said, well, that is what I'm reduced to eating right now. I said, get out. And so I said, it hurt my heart for me to hear that. She said, they don't give me just enough stamps to maybe $15 worth of stamps, and I have to eat for that. And my check is just enough really to pay my bills and not do anything much more with that. And so I asked her, what do you like eating? And she just said, I love some peaches. And, she was calling out certain things. I wrote down a list, and I told her I would be back because I had to go pick my check up from the company. And I got my check, and I took her shopping cart with me. And I told her, I'm going to go to the store and pick you up a few things. And she said, you would do that for me? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, I will be right back. And I got on the elevator. I had tears in my eyes because I've never witnessed somebody saying they had to eat cat food. Yeah. And so I went to the office, and I told those people that, maybe y'all should make some random checks to these seniors' houses because this lady that I'm working with right now is eating cat food. And they was like, get out of here. I said, yes. She's outlived her family. She don't have anyone she can call on. So if the agency is couldn't take over, then they got to at least come out there and check and make sure she got the proper food to eat. And they said, no problem, sure, we'll do that. So I left out, I think my check was like $1,800. I left out of there, and I went straight to the grocery store, and I think I spent like $400 or $500 buying food, everything that I could think of she could eat to put in her cabinet. And I went there and I threw that food out. I lined her cabinets up with peaches and tuna fish. I said, we ain't going to eat no more cat food. I got some tuna fish in there. We got some eggs. I make you a tuna salad. I make you egg salad. So you got different things in there in case the agency called me out and somebody else comes in. I did her freezer, put all the meats in her freezer, took her some fried chicken out to eat. I fried her some chicken and some cabbage and rice and something else that I can't think of what else I fixed her that day. And that lady sat there and she cried like a... And I said, don't cry. She said, I have no one. I said, you got... I said, God got you. I said, I told the office what's going on with you. They're going to send someone in here tomorrow while I'm still here with you, and we're going to go from there. And she said, thank you so much, Cheryl. And I put a can of peaches in the freezer so it could get cold for her. And before I left her that day, I gave her some peaches, and she was just so happy. So I have so many different pieces that I have went into houses where people have had 10 or 15 kids, and 10 or 15 kids, like I say, 15 to 16 kids, triplets, twins, but the family adds up, and it will be only one person to come in there to take care of their parent, and that would bother me. It's like 10 kids, but only one or two will come here and take care of you. Only one will come in here. And another lady was the same way. She was taking care of her mother. And she was older herself, but she said the other brothers and sisters were not participating in taking care of their parents. And the ladies would be crying. And I said, please don't cry. God is going to make sure you're all right. If it ain't nothing but that one, that's him. You just be happy that one stepped up to the plate. But they was like, I sent them to college. They're college-educated kids. They're doing very well. And I don't understand why my children won't call me and they won't come and help their sister with me. And they're in the same state. So, when my grandparents got sick, I gave up everything. and I came home to make sure I never left my grandmother's side in the hospital. She had throat cancer. I never left her side. I stayed there, and I thank God I stayed there. I got to see her take her last breath, and I wouldn't have wanted to be any place on this earth but right there with my grandmother, because my grandmother was this strong black woman that I looked up to. It taught me basically everything that I know her, my moms, my aunts, and women that I met along the way, because even though we have our family, when I was in New York, I had another set of mothers that watched over me, taught me how to walk the streets of New York, not to fall into the traps or anything. Just kept putting knowledge in me and kept my brain away from anything that would take me away from what was right. Mm-hmm. And so I learn from everybody. I don't just from a child. You can learn from a child if you listen. But I chose to have senior mentors. Even Miss Robinson taught me things while I was up under her. She became my teacher. She taught me how to record music, what to do in the studio, and how to make what she would call a cake. I'm going to teach you how to bake a cake, Cheryl. So at a young age, at 19, I became her A&R person. So every group that came in SugarHill after the sequence and the SugarHill gang, I was a part of helping them to get signed, because at first Miss Robinson did not want anybody but the SugarHill gang in the sequence. She was like, no, Cheryl. I was like, she called me 3 o'clock and she said, well, Earl is going to come pick you up. Earl was her nephew. Earl got this tape with all these rappers on it, Cheryl. I want you to come up here and listen. And so it's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm writing. I'm up still. She said, well, I'm going to get Earl to come get you. So Earl came and picked me up. Of course, the tape that he brought was a tape that we heard in what they call at that time the OJ, limousine service, where this lady was riding us around New York, and she put the cassette in. So the cassette must have been hot, and Earl had got it. But we heard it. I heard it first with her in her car. So when I got to Miss Robinson's house and Earl put the tape on, I had already heard the rappers on there, which were Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Treacherous, the Funky Four, Crash Crew, Busy Bee, and a couple of other rappers that was on this particular cassette. When I heard it, she said, well, what do I do with this, Cheryl? I said, Miss Robinson, you got to sign them. You know, I said, you have to sign them because that's the only competition right now. And she looked at me, and she kept playing it, and the more she played it, the more she liked it. I said, this is hot, what they're doing right here. We had never heard them because we were from the South, and we hadn't heard anybody but the SugarHill gang in the South. And we were traveling out there. The Funk You Up was released on my birthday, November the 19th. On Angie's birthday, I turned 19 that year of November the 19th. Angie turned 18 December the 18th. And on Angie's birthday, we met with the SugarHill gang in Charleston, South Carolina, and we traveled the road with them. We never came back to South Carolina for a long time. Wow. So we didn't know anything about the groups in New York. We didn't know anything about the history in the Bronx that say that they're the people that started the hip-hop thing. So, but we had no knowledge of that. God brought us out of left field into something that where we only heard the SugarHill gang. We did hear, I think, Fatback Bag, King Tim the Third. I'm sorry, y'all. King the Third was with the Fatback Band, which came out before the SugarHill gang. So we knew something different was coming. We heard Lady B out of Philadelphia as a female rapper. We was like, okay, so something different is about to jump off. I think we heard a little bit of Spoonie G, but we never heard any of the other groups that was forming in from the Bronx and from Harlem and from Queens, different areas in New York there. So to hear the tape again, I was like, Ms. Robinson, we are all the only people that's really doing this hip-hop thing, so you got to sign them over here, you know. And she said, okay, Cheryl. She said, Earl, in the morning I want you to go get them, get the ones that you can get and bring them over. So we stayed up to about 6 o'clock that morning. She cooked some grits and eggs and bacon, and we sat down and eat. And then I went upstairs in the room that I usually go to in her house, and I fell asleep. And then when I woke up, I knew I had to go back to the studio because I was going into work also on some sequence stuff. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 was sitting downstairs in the kitchen. His name is Robinson. I got 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and she got right back up. I jumped up. Okay, it's almost 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I had to get out of here. And so I ran downstairs, and in the kitchen was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. And I was like, I got to go to the studio, Miss Rob. I had to call a cab and everything, and they were in there. She was like, sure, this is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. On one of the groups we were listening to last, you know, on the radio, on the box. And I said, okay. I said, nice to meet y'all. She said, this is Cheryl The Pearl. And she had a way of saying my name with a smile. And I gave her a hug and said, okay, I'll be back later. She said, okay, when you finish, you come back here before you go home, Cheryl. And I said, okay. So I met them. And I left out. I left out the door, but she eventually signed all of the groups that I just told you about. And then after that, she wouldn't let anybody else come in.
Wow. Now, you as a legend.
She wasn't going to.
And meeting.
Yeah, she wasn't going to sign any females. Sha-Rock from the Funky Four, she was the +1. She was the only other female that got into that company at that time because Robinson was not too keen on signing female acts. And we were lucky that she really just liked us that we got signed with her. But she usually just dealt with male acts at her companies. So,
by you ladies being the first, by you ladies being the first rapper, women.
Yeah.
This is history. We learn how Cheryl The Pearl and Angie B as Angie Stone and Blondy, y'all shifted 1979, changed the game. There are also y'all changed the way music can be structured from DJs playing in the club and also concert DJs and party DJs. Speaking of women,
right,
I can only think of 2 successful women that carried the load at least 3 decades. I'm going to name 2. When you hear me say these names about these 2 ladies, one DJ, Spinderella, and then also Erykah Badu, she's very talented and gifted. She also do some DJs. Tell me, what does that remind you of changing the game? You see another woman come right, because if it wasn't bad for rap, DJ would not be popular because of you ladies. So when the first thing comes to your mind, tell me the first thing comes to your mind when you see Spinderella lasted 2 and 3 decades, and then you see what Erykah Badu have, crossed up. Just speak your mind. Tell us what's going through your head when you hear those 2 names.
When you see other females come in and you see them stand their ground and they're not allowing this industry to drag them or pull them left and right, they're there to do the art. Beautiful thing. That is a great thing. That is a beautiful thing. When I saw Missy Elliott come in and she's producing and she's doing it I was doing at her age, that's beautiful to me. I love that. I love to see other females be able to come in, but most of them that hit me back or say things to me on Facebook or any of the thing is like, Miss Cheryl, I want to do this, but, you know, they're making women take off their clothes. They're making women, you know, they're putting us in a slutty role. I don't want to do it like that. So when the sequence was setting out there, we had style, we had class. We did not stoop to any low levels to sell music. We sold 500,000 copies in 3 weeks. So when you see other females come in like Salt and Pepper, they did it right. Queen Latifah and them did it right. MC Light, they all did it right. So when you see those women, those are the women that you should be admiring and saying, okay, they didn't have to go from here to there to sell a record. They sold music because people loved what they were doing. And that is what I would like for the newer generation of women to get. Don't belittle yourself. Don't belittle yourself and do anything to try to sell music, because that's not what it's all about. If God blessed you with that talent, take that talent and at least think about God before you go putting things out there that other young females will catch on to and admire you for doing it, but it's the wrong way. It's the wrong way. You're misleading. You're taking people, you're taking young girls. When young girls used to say, want to be Blondy, I want to be NGB, I want to be Cheryl The Pearl, that was something to be proud of, because we knew to mislead or misguide the innocents or the young people that were coming up under us. So we kept that in mind. Miss Robinson was, you know, they dressed us. They showed us how to be that type of woman. You know, if we were taking straightening combs out there trying to keep up with the hairstyles and stuff like that. And she said, that's not going to work. You girls going to have to put some wigs on. We was like, put on wigs? Yeah. So we started on wigs. When they took us to do photo shots, they had makeup artists there, and we would be made up, and we would, you know, because we were just plain face the kids. So they would make us up, and we would be like, I'm not taking this makeup off. It looks so good, you know, knowing that you can't keep with it. I slept with my head on my pillow to keep from taking my makeup off because it looked so beautiful the way that they was doing what they did to us. And so, you know.
Well, what do you have? What are some of the things you have coming up?
What do you mean covered up?
What do you have coming up in the future?
What do I have coming up?
Yeah.
Well, you know we're working on the radio station. I have a new thing out there called Your Way, My Way. That's doing pretty good. We're also, as if it's all right to say, working on a television network. We're working on my own social media site. And as we're speaking, it's coming together. So this is what the world can look out for, is that we're not staying in one lane. I have the music, I have radio, I have television, and I have the social media site. That Robin, of course, is helping me to map out, her and Edwin, and I thank God for them. They are a blessing in disguise. I thank y'all for coming to me with this. And Ms. Cheryl, you need to be doing your book. You need to be doing, you know, if they're going to do movies, you need to control yourself. You need to own your stuff. So that's where I am now. Is they got me back into just doing business and doing great business with people. But on the upside of all of that, these companies come off. Like I was telling Robin, I want to help the homeless people. I want to get people out of the streets. I want to be able to feed people, to help put programs together to help feed the hunger and hungry people around the world. I want to help kids get college scholarships. and help senior citizens, make sure that these seniors are being treated correctly in these nursing homes. So I got a lot of things in my mind that I want to do, but it's only to better the world, not to hurt the world.
And it's going to happen. And before we let you go, so when we get off the air, I got to talk to you and Robin off the air.
Okay.
Confirmation came in to me before we took the music break. But ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to give another round of applause for the legendary first original female rapper along with Sequence. You just got a hold of an exclusive interview of Cheryl The Pearl, a Untold story, right on You Heard Me First radio talk show. Robin, before we let her go, anything you want to say before we bounce out?
I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show on my birthday. Thank you.
For you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. And you're going to hear more. We're going to be talking about her radio show. We're going to be promoting everything she's doing because she is the reason why hip-hop exists, because of rap. Until next time, peace, and may God bless you. Don't you guys go no way too far. Peace.
Your way, my way. Oh, baby. Your way, my way. We can do it your way, and we can do it my way, baby. On the outside looking in, don't know who to trust as friends. They just come and get you, take you where they want you to be. But I need you right here with me, 'cause I'm gonna set you free. But I can't do anything until you can trust in me. But we can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. They say love was meant to flow, and our love just needs to grow. So I'm asking you to face up to reality, 'cause what you've given me is nothing, nothing I can live with, nothing I can feel with, nothing I can deal with. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. I'm never gonna risk my feelings, never gonna give up my heart, never ever gonna be so willing to let you tear me apart. I got your back, baby, 'cause when I play to win. But if you wanna be dumb about this, then you can go out with your friend. Do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way, baby. We can do it your way, or we can do it my way.